What up, everybody? Yay! New review from Glasshouse Films. Yay!
Ringing in the new year.
Oh, like a week later.
Like almost 2 weeks later.
Almost 2 weeks later, yeah.
And like a month later.
A month since our last review. Yay! To be fair, we had stuff to do in that time.
Lives to lead.
Yeah. It's not all about movies for me.
Games to play.
Yeah.
Models to paint.
Yeah. But now we're back. And this week we are like almost right off the bat hitting one of my hotly anticipated movies of this year, Proud Mary.
Proud Mary.
Yes. And I'm very confused. Like,
yeah.
Sony released one trailer, and from all the other like teasers and other trailers have just been from that one trailer.
Yeah.
And the one trailer that they showed was just the song Proud Mary playing,
And then just kind of
as
like,
Miss Henson gets ready to kick some ass.
a little walking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like, I have no idea what this movie is about. I'm hoping, we're both kind of hoping, that we're getting like blaxploitation John Wick. That's like best case scenario. And I really hope we do, because just because the lead actress, Miss Henson, Taraji P. Henson, I always mess up her first name, so I just refer to her as Miss Henson.
Miss Henson.
Yeah, because I have a lot of respect for her. I like her a lot. I don't think she would sign on to a movie that just kind of blows. Like, or at least not a stupid movie, because she does a good job picking what roles she wants to be in, and she seems more pumped than Sony to be in this movie and to have made this movie.
Yeah, and one of the things I heard, kind of this theory about why it wasn't, maybe necessarily didn't like get any promotion, is, and this is weird because like there's somewhat like evidence to contradict it.
Yeah.
That films with like primarily like black casts like don't do well overseas. And there's but it's like the case to be made against that halfway, because maybe it's not primarily black cast, like every Will Smith movie. But included in every Will Smith movie is like Bad Boys, like Bad Boys 2, which did really well overseas. But like the blaxploitation genre, if that's what this is, it could, you know, I tread lightly on the like term blaxploitation, because, you know, obviously like the history of it is like, I want to say it's like super sinister, but it's definitely like kind of playing on black stereotypes for like an entire audience. Like,
yeah, but
it's also really firmly rooted in like
creating black heroes.
A lot of like just culture in general from like the 60s onward.
Yeah. It was,
and we got a lot of cool movies out of it.
Yeah, so okay, because we don't have a lot to say about this movie to begin with, let's dive into the history of blaxploitation for a minute. I mean, in being completely honest, it's not. Yeah, it is called blaxploitation, but it's not.
But it's not all bad.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we got things like Shaft. Like he's one of the coolest.
But we did get
Coffee, Foxy Brown. Like, come on.
And I mean, you get some. There were like some controversial blaxploitation movies, like Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song.
But that was controversial for a lot of other reasons.
For a reason that has nothing to do with anybody being black.
Yeah.
It was just like, had everything, all the controversy was about it being an exploitation film.
Yes.
With some really, like, as far as how the movie was made and certain scenes.
Yeah.
Whether or not things actually happened.
Yeah.
To a young teenage boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, things like that.
But
that's the flip side of it.
That is. But for the most, and what I love is that people are, I will actually give Quentin Tarantino a lot of credit for this. I think he has helped in bringing awareness of those movies to the forefront. Yeah. I mean, going right to Jackie Brown. I mean, because of that, I now know who, and now I forgot her name. Pam Grier. Because of that, I know who Pam Grier is.
Yeah, I love Pam Grier.
And then you go back and you watch all of her other movies and you're like, oh wow, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And then that just leads you into so much more.
all these exploitation movies.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And then because of films like that, then we get other blaxploitation comedy films, like Undercover Brother, and then my
Undercover
personal
Brother is great. That's
Undercover Brother is fantastic. Come on, you gotta be sick now. And then what's the one with the guy who I say should with Michael Jai White? Black Dynamite.
Oh yeah,
I love Black Dynamite so much.
And those movies are good because like we live in a pretty like overly, in my opinion, like overly PC world where maybe part of it is just maybe Sony just didn't want to even be associated with the idea of blaxploitation. If that's even what this movie is, there's just so little material.
Exactly.
We don't even know.
But at the same time, they could have even steered clear of that and just been like,
or
it's just John Wick with a black woman as John Wick.
Or worst case scenario, maybe it just sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want it to. But it's always a possibility.
It is a possibility. I really don't want it to. And I mean, I never want any movie that I go to see to suck because I'm paying to see these. And I really do want a good movie out of it. And I think, I mean, the potential is there, but I don't know enough about it.
I know.
Like, John Wick is just man's dog gets killed, goes out for revenge. Very, very simple plot. This is a woman works for a crime syndicate as a hitman. It's like, okay, but like, how are you gonna play that as a comedy, as an action movie? What the hell?
I would like it to just be in the best way, with any negative connotations aside. Blaxploitation John Wick.
That's all.
Cool. Not Blaxploitation Atomic Blonde.
Oh.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
But just like all the like, you know, the style and like culture we get out of blaxploitation. John Wick.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would be totally okay.
So, I hope it's good. And also, brief aside, Miss Henson is not a young woman. She's in her 40s. And in a lot of ways, and that's something else. It's like you couldn't even build your marketing off the back that it's like, here's this middle-aged black woman kicking ass.
Yeah.
Like, really? She's Academy Award nominated actress who wants to do an act. Like, when Liam Neeson's turned around and did that for Taken, everyone was all like, oh my God, the Liam Neesons. But that it's like that attitude is not prevalent at all with this film, and you'd kind of expect it to be.
Just one trailer, not particularly stylish,
and then
nothing.
Sony put up some like crappy live interview with her on Facebook that was like 10 minutes and shot from an iPhone. It's like, come on,
that was what we got.
Come on, give us something.
It's like all we got to go off of is Taraji Henson saying, you know,
please go see this movie.
See this movie.
Yeah.
And that, you know, she made some comment about like, you know, it's not just something I want to put my name on and like star in. It's something I want to like promote in my free time.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I'm getting paid.
It's
paraphrased, obviously.
Yeah. But
I mean, they're also actors. They could just be acting. Worst case scenario, like I'm not necessarily bracing myself for worst case scenario. But it's like, dude, maybe it just sucks. Like, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, but what gets me is, like, even if it did suck, you would expect more advertising.
I bet, regardless of how this movie goes, we've seen worse movies with more advertising.
Yeah, I mean, Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
Madea, Boo 2 of Madea.
Hitman's Bodyguard.
Hitman's
Bodyguard was like a huge letdown.
Yeah.
But,
well, you didn't see The Circle, but you don't need to.
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower, yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen worse movies in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Worse than I'm anticipating this to be. I'm not really anticipating it to be bad. But.
Yeah. We're anticipating nothing. We hope it's good, but anticipating nothing.
Yeah.
But, all right. Let's go do this.
Ever.
Don't go see it.
No.
Oh yeah, Savanah's here. Yay! She's back since when was the last one? Was it Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman or King Arthur?
Fast
No, there's Wonder
No,
Woman.
Fast 8 was earlier.
That one should have been my last. That movie was horrible.
What, Fate of the Furious?
Yes!
Fate of the Furious.
Should have stopped then.
Yo, but this movie though.
Nope. I'm gonna be real. I went out of my way to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. Never again. I've been hurt too hard.
The bar has been set really high for the shittiest movie we may see this year.
And the thing is, opening credits are going. It's kind of a dress up, getting ready montage. It's like, oh yeah, Funk Town, let's do this.
It turns out that the trailer was actually just legitimately like the first minute of the movie.
And the best parts of the movie.
And the best part of the movie. Like, oh, cool wig, cool guns, cool side boob.
So,
and then
it wasn't
just
blaxploitation John Wick, it was blaxploitation Leon the
There was
Professional.
no blaxploitation kind of at all. It was just a shitty movie with a primarily black cast.
It was
They
a
killed
pretty...
the only white guy.
Yeah! Fucking racists! They killed the white guy! Yeah, it was just Leon the Professional, except really bad.
Yep, I could see why Sony didn't promote the movie.
Yeah, so, this movie honestly doesn't deserve us talking about it too much. We're just gonna run right through the things that don't really work about it. The editing was so bad.
Which is weird because it started out good.
Yeah. Okay, every dialogue scene had this kind of editing exchange. You know, Nick says something, quick cut to me, not really reacting, and then quick cut back to him continuing to say a thing.
It was like
all the dialogue.
It's like The Walking Dead, where it's like
except
40% of the movie was just like the shots of people's faces. It reminded me of like what happens when you put. Have you ever seen those videos where they take two Furbies and they like put them on tables and make them talk to each other?
Yeah.
And they're like, me no like. No. Where is he?
And that moves us right into the actual script.
Like, that was like the whole script.
The script was just...
How many one-word responses can you have to like someone's monologue?
I don't know.
It turns out a fucking lot. Like every response.
So editing, absolutely dog shit. Script was terrible. The action was... Okay, yeah, and that's our reaction to the action. It really was not good.
The action was
very little in this movie.
Yeah, the action was like The Dark Tower, where it was just like one scene, really.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was really
a good scene.
It was poorly constructed.
It was just super by the numbers. Everything you've seen in any gunplay movie. It's like what it was. The slide on the floor, the get shot but turn around and shoot them better. It's just
the thing that struck
windows, me, fucking everything was just awful in that fight scene.
The action scene that I was thinking of in particular was when they had to go to the mansion. And they were... Was that when you were asleep? Nick fell asleep. Was that when you were asleep?
No, I saw that part.
Okay.
I fell asleep from the minute 25 to 35. Okay. When it was just like the weird taking in the kid and hanging out kind of stuff. I don't know. There was some dialogue.
We'll come back around to
dialogue.
Yeah. So what got me about the action is that it was... The way it was framed is it's, okay, these two people shooting, they're like kind of defending themselves, and then they pull a trigger, and then we cut to the person getting shot. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, you could have just had these two people just reacting and then film everything else around it. There was never action and reaction within the same shot. So it was just really bad.
Well, it's like that's what they do when, the actors don't actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I kind of feel like Miss Henson showed up and she really wanted it to work. Nobody else did.
They wanted to make a cool movie and everybody else was like,
I guess.
Nobody we have brought on set has the skills to make the kind of movie you want to make.
Yeah.
But hey, we could get some wires around you and drag you on the floor and you could look like a cool slidey shooty shot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Which
do that.
Moving right into the next thing. The level of incompetence to this movie is kind of astonishing And the thing that the thing that kept happening, and it just blew my mind, was it seemed like they didn't really get the shot that they wanted to, or like they didn't light the shot properly, so they had to change the way it looked in post-production.
Yeah.
Like they had to like increase the contrast and then lower the
everybody-
brightness.
Yeah, like you just like couldn't see. You could like make out people's faces clearly.
Like Danny Glover's scene. Yeah, Danny Glover's scene where he's really talking up a storm, and it's like, you got a lot of light behind you, dude, and I just can't see your face. So okay, moving on to the next thing. Acting, whatever. Miss Henson is kind of wasted. In a better movie, I think she really could have done something with this.
It's weird when I felt like the bratty kid was like the okayest part of the movie. Danny Glover, like half the movie he had a lisp and half the movie he didn't.
You know what?
Like, you ain't never leaving the family. It's like, all right.
Okay, he wasn't Sylvester.
Suffering succotash, fucking.
Okay,
Danny Glover.
now, however, in an effort to say something nice, the kid wasn't awful.
Yeah, he was the okayest part of the movie. I've seen worse child actors. Dark Tower.
Yeah, they have guns around. I mean, anyway. Don't go see it. Don't go see it. What do you have to say about it? Don't go see it?
Yeah, we kind of been
I was
rambling.
prepared for like a bigger death because you were like, it's like that Keanu Reeves movie.
Blaxploitation John Wick.
Yeah, so I was like waiting for somebody to die the whole movie, and then he didn't die. And I was like,
there was
it's over?
Yeah. There was so much of like the Furby dialogue that is just unreal. It's like, how many lines were in that movie that were just like
what blows me away?
I don't think there's a single original line in that movie.
What blows me away? So remove Neil McDonough, the one white guy who was shot. Remove Danny Glover and remove Miss Henson, and just put in other.
So it's just a kid.
No. What I'm saying is replace them with unknown actors, and this is like a direct-to-video just turd. No. Replace Miss Henson with like Steven Seagal.
Replace him with Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry as Medea.
Yeah, replace every character with Tyler Perry.
Oh, nerd! Call me Mary.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Bitch, I'm gonna put you on the pole. Like, I'm gonna put you back on the streets.
I can see why.
Sucking cabbies for smack.
So,
which was a line in the movie.
That was unnecessary. Okay.
A gutter snipe, fucking sucking off cabbies for smack.
That's my new go-to insult.
What blows me away is that this is a major studio release with at least a few $1 million behind it. It's that thing where it's like, okay, if you put in X amount of just money, good or not, you're gonna get X amount of kind of a product. You're at a particular stratosphere of professionalism you're at least working with, and this did not meet that. This was just bad.
It's like the majority of the budget went to filming in whatever city they were filming
Boston.
in. Is that Boston? Is that what Boston looks like?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There were a lot of, okay, what is that car brand?
I guess that explains all the like newsy caps that all the white guys were wearing.
Yeah. What is that car brand, the Trident? It's not Maserati.
I don't know, man. I don't know shit about cars.
I feel like they said,
zoomed in on that grill
we will pay X amount of money for this film, but we have to have no less than 5 minutes of footage of our car driving around.
Grill time.
Yeah. And you know what? They went above and beyond with that one.
Yeah.
So, don't go see it. Next week, what are we watching? Oh man, I thought this week we were gonna have good stuff, but next
we
week
really should have seen The Commuter, but just sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar. We should have.
There's no way. I did not think we were gonna be seeing what could possibly be the worst movie that
I don't know.
all year.
Den of Thieves is next week.
Hey, Den of Thieves has O'Shea Jackson.
12,
and 50 Cent.
12 Strong is next week.
Yeah,
The Horse Soldiers of Afghanistan.
I'm looking more forward to Den of Thieves than this movie. Which is really fucking saying something.
We make fun of it every time we see
make
it.
fun of it
Every
every
time. You know what this badge means? Yeah, it means you're a tool. Get a better tattoo.
We were in a this means we were in a gang, but a different kind of gang, a gang that has badges. Alright, fucking neat.
Oh my god. You need to dub over everything Leonidas says in that movie.
Hey, listen here, guys. Oh man. You know anyone who stares at Fort Knox for 2 minutes gets banned by security?
Can you bootleg some copies?
Oh my god, that would be incredible.
Is that what we got next week? 12
strong hostiles.
Does 12 strong have like a other little subtitle too, like 12 strong?
Yeah, 12 strong, the Horse Soldiers of Afghanistan.
Jesus.
Starring Thor and General Zod and Ant-Man's friend.
It's weird
Oh, wow.
because which friend?
Michael Pena.
Oh, okay.
The best friend.
I was hoping it was gonna be Hacker Russian for some reason.
Yeah,
Which
you
was
would.
weird.
You would. All right. Don't go see this next week. Yay! We'll figure it out.
We'll find something better.
Yes, we will.
We definitely won't find something worse.
Hopefully. So, youtube.com/glassfilmsauce, facebook.com/glasshousefilms, Twitter @glasshousefilms. Thank you so much. You hooray, 2018 starts so bad.